I would like to thank the team associated with Nature's Guardians and the movement Mission One, who have been working very hard towards this organization and trying to accomplish its goal. Thank you all. So let's begin. Okay. So I would like to ask the crowd one simple question, and you can put the answers on the chat. Who is the most intelligent creature on the earth? I'd wait for a minute for the answers.
At least this is what we believe, human beings.
Okay, let's find out at the end of this session. In fact, perspectives might change. All right, so let's begin. As we move ahead in our lives, there are few questions among the many that keeps coming back to us. Where are we heading? How do I progress to live happily? How to have enough? For some, these questions are pretty much answered, but to the majority, they are either blank or blurred. But among the clear-headed lies the two types of people: the positive visionaries and the manipulative visionaries. The positive visionaries are the ones who are working hard to accomplish a goal larger than monetary wealth and to see the world reach the golden age. The manipulative visionaries are the ones who are working hard and evil to relax in the wealth provided by the pawns they place at every step, leading to the destruction of the planet and human life. These pawns are none other than the blurred and the blank-minded people who are following the bait disguised with money, which is moved by the manipulators. These unclear-minded people are turned out to be as plague to the ecosystem, infecting and uprooting every single cell in the ecosystem, leading to the massive destruction of the planet. But I say, it is not completely their fault. It is the fault of the people who have placed authority over them, misguiding them to a path which leads nowhere but a burning grave before their actual time. These manipulators have safeguarded themselves with their own laws, their own people dictating their governance, and treat the rest like the fish caught in the net. But as every thief leaves a loophole behind, these manipulators did too. They didn't realize that laws, governance, and constitution can not only be changed by them, but could also be changed by the few who always wished good for the planet. Because these few didn't believe in luxury, they believed in justice and prosperity. To understand what the wicked-minded people did to the mass population and the ecosystem, let us now clear our mind and keep it free from beliefs and dogmas for the next 40 minutes and hopefully thereafter forever. First, they invaded our human mind through rotten education. Our education system is so vast, but yet heads to only one direction, enslaving the human, leading us to destroy our lives and the planet. In simple terms, Our education is a guide or a track that leads us to do the work of the wicked authorities that have very well understood how important it is to tune the minds of the young ones and make them ready as free slaves until the rest of their lives. If this continues, then we will have minds giving birth to more minds, leading to a path of their own destruction, and willingly accepting the tasks offered to them without knowing and losing the connection they have with the ecosystem. Second, they invaded our freedom. Humans were designed to explore the potential and connection with the planet even without guidance. But this freedom was hidden from us. They caged us up with invisible borders and rules and knew this is the only way to control the mass. They then offered us choices of force and called it freedom. And the one who believed in it became a puppet to that master who provided that choice. Third, they invaded our joy and happiness. After all the mass did for them, their greedy and cruel mind didn't let us stay happy and joyful. They pushed us into an oily trail of hunger, poverty, loan, disease, exploitation, murder, rape, depression, and all that they did was watch how one suffers till death. This will go on until we stop and decide and come back to those questions we often ask ourselves. And then we need to put forward a bigger question in general. What is the true essence of life? Before we start jumping onto any conclusions, let us find out from where we can begin and rejoin the connection to our Mother Earth. Today, we shall go a little deeper to find out how everything is interconnected and forms a one big cell, and the problem the ecosystem faces when certain cells don't perform as required. The oceans are vast, and so is the land. Life functions like a bubble, both on land and water. The beauty of living often provides joy, thrill, and much more as we engage ourselves in the adventurous activities nature puts forward to us. But now, the joy for survival has turned into fight for survival, and this fight has made it difficult for life on land. As we shrink and burn the homes of the voiceless, knowingly or unknowingly, we shrink our essence of life too. From cruel excavations to deep mining, from mass extinctions to wide burnings, from pollution to exploitation, we humans have done it all. We haven't failed intruding into everyone's privacy, and for what? Survival. No, absolutely not. We did it for greed, we did it for wealth, and we did it definitely for pride. We did it for the few, but today the pain is faced by all. After so much of work done by the mass, the outcomes have resulted into no clean water, air, and food, the human's basic necessity. So, where did we go wrong and how did it happen? Surely it did not happen overnight. So, certainly it has been happening from a long period of time. They first divided us into man and woman, then religion, then communities, then color, then region, then so on and so forth, and finally divided us into the two most evil class, rich and poor, and fed into us that the poor were meant to work for the rich. This division and unwillingness to understand by both classes led to the ecosystem to fail and collapse in various ways. We are on the brink of mass extinction, with one species getting extinct every 5 minutes, and yet it doesn't surprise many. We have melted the ice in the Arctic, making it difficult for delicate lives to survive out there. We lose Arctic sea ice at a rate almost 13% per decade, and yet it doesn't surprise us. We cut 3 million trees each day around the world, and in India alone, recorded 70 lakh trees were cut in the last 3 years. Our air pollution has resulted to 5 million deaths each year. 80% of the world's poisonous water is dumped untreated back into the environment, causing 4,85,000 diarrheal deaths each year. And yet, it doesn't surprise us. We killed animals and birds, tortured them, burned them alive, exploited them, domesticated them for our benefits, and yet we fail to understand their cry. We kill 77 billion land animals each year for the sake of fulfilling our cruel mind's hunger, and yet it doesn't surprise us. And how and why would it surprise us? We humans have been taught to move on in our lives because past doesn't matter. Really? Who said the past doesn't matter? It surely does. We suffer today because our actions of the past, because if we would look back and analyze and introspect ourselves deeply and connect our every action with our Mother Earth, the thought itself would frighten us. But we stand a chance. It's now time we hold ourselves as responsible creatures of this planet and participate with our intelligence and emotions to work towards the betterment of the ecosystem with unity, strength, and passion. To most, a question arises from where to begin. To simplify these dilemmas, let us categorize the solutions and the problems. First, governance and constitution. So, what are these and why is it important? It is very important because it ensures us that those who make decisions on behalf of public fairly represent public opinion. It also sets out ways in which those who exercise power may be held accountable to the people they serve. By this being said, it acts in a limited way according to rules and principles that define the nature and extent of the government. So according to rules, law can be introduced or changed. But do we really need a change? Or do we need to change something in the constitution or governance? Yes, of course we do. And we don't need any proof to prove this, as we can see around the rapid extinction, destruction, and pollution taking place in the ecosystem. The ecosystem demands, or you can say it orders for a change. The major change in the constitution means a change in the fundamental nature of the country. And why not it be? It is a fundamental human right to live in an unpolluted environment, says law. So don't the voiceless creatures deserve the same? Also, it is the fundamental duty of every individual to maintain purity of the environment And let me ask you, is that happening? So what does the government need to do? Initiate and implement immediately on research and developmental programs to introduce and progress on clean energy technologies and bring them to commercial use. Work with businesses to reduce or shut emissions as soon as new alternatives are functional. Third, protect and restore key ecosystems. Support small and sustainable agricultural producers. Promote and fund green energy and green economy on a large scale. Combat short-lived climate pollutants like methane, HFCs, soot that are responsible for 30 to 45% of emissions that cause global warming. Extremely strict laws on animal cruelty or any other species for that matter. Eighth, any existing or new businesses without respecting the laws of the ecosystem should not be entertained. Start a program, green government with green thinkers. Stop providing subsidies on programs and occupation that cause loss to the environment. If the power exercising authorities were really concerned about the welfare and well-being of the ecosystem, then goal 15 of protect, restore, and promote sustainable use of terrestrial ecosystems, sustainably manage forest, combat desertification, and halt and reverse land degradation, and halt biodiversity loss wouldn't have been spoken of. The next thing that requires a massive change are industries. From air to water to soil to humans to food to animals, the industries have polluted it all. Thanks to the idea of false development and calling slavery and exploitation as employment. Development means the process of growth or new information. So in the lives of humans, the purpose of development spoken by the industrialists and the government was to create an enabling environment for people to enjoy long creative lives. So well said by those hypocrites. But unfortunately, that wasn't the case. Your development means focusing on financial growth and material well-being. Industries have wounded our ecosystem in multiple ways, and yet they call it development. Is it really development or destruction? Industries have been drilling, burning, and mining coal and fossil fuels for a very long time, causing a lot of air pollution, resulting in a lot of premature deaths. In India alone, 2 million people die of air pollution every year. Chemical solvents used in dyeing and tanning industries have massive effects on health. Untreated gas and liquid waste being released on land and water resulted to polluting soil and toxic water, causing a lot of species to die, and also about 2 lakh people die each year in India from diseases related to unclean water. Almost 50% of the plastic has been manufactured since 2000. So up till now, over 8.3 billion tons of plastic was manufactured, from which 6.3 billion is waste. Improper disposal of radioactive materials, which has caused immense damage on land and water, and also to human and animal lives. Now let us discuss what were the causes that led to industrial pollution. Lack of policies to control pollution Due to lack of policies and poor enforcement, it allowed many industries to bypass laws made by the Pollution Control Board, which resulted in mass-scale pollution that affected the lives of many people. Unplanned industrial growth. In most townships, unplanned growth took place wherein those companies openly disregarded rules and norms and polluted the environment. Use of outdated technologies. Most industries still rely on old technologies to produce products that generate a large amount of waste. To avoid cost and expenditure, many companies still make use of traditional technologies to produce high-end products. Presence of large number of small-scale industries. Many of these industries don't have enough capital and rely on government grants. These industries often escape environmental regulations and pollute the environment very heavily. Inefficient waste disposal. This issue causes water and soil pollution, and due to its long-term exposure causes chronic health problems. Sucking out resources from a natural world. Industries do require a large amount of raw materials to make them into finished products. Most of it comes from beneath the earth. These industries have caused serious damage to forest, animals, water bodies, and also a threat to human life. The issue of industrial pollution is critical to every nation on the planet. But there are individuals who are working to reduce carbon footprints and live and work in an eco-friendly way. Let us now discuss the steps that can be taken to seek permanent solution to the problem. First, source control. Adopting new technologies, efficient training of employees for proper disposal of waste, and being more conscious about the use of raw materials and from where it comes, and how it can affect the habitat of that region. Recycling. I don't think I need to say much on this. Industry site location. Consideration of location of the sites and the potential impact on the surroundings can help reduce harmful consequences. Proper treatment of industrial waste. Waste can reduce a lot of pollution and save a lot of lives. Rebuilding habitats by planting more trees. And plants can help give wildlife back their homes, and trees can act as a buffer and save the environment. Strict laws and enforcement by the industry, staff, and the governmental bodies to mitigate pollution and unlawful practices. And amongst all, one of the main practices that all power exercising bodies should adhere to is a regular environmental impact assessment and take actions on lawbreakers. So by following these practices, the industries can bring down the pollution level to a large percentage. Now let us focus on a very unusual topic which is not much spoken of, and the reason being unusual is not to allow the mass crowd to be enlightened, and which can result to the crowd deviating from their manipulative lifestyles dictated by the manipulative visionaries. This is an area where an individual, society, or even a nation can think and work towards a better life and help themselves and the world to be a better place. People might be often hearing the word conscious and wonder how can one be conscious, or sometimes wonder what exactly is consciousness. Well, here it is. The state of being conscious means being aware of one's own existence, sensations, thoughts, surroundings, etc. Have you ever wondered, or even felt it faintly, how one's life would be without any manipulation, without any burden and boundaries drawn by you in order to gain money, attention, fame, etc.? It's wonderful. Later in the session, I would give you an example, but now let us talk about consciousness-based education. It is a scientifically proven program to develop total brain function for increasing intelligence, creativity, and happiness. Consciousness-based education makes use of the natural and effortless transcendental meditational techniques for developing students' full inner potential. By developing and increasing the use of total brain, the transcendental meditational techniques strengthen the cognitive, physiological, and effective foundations of learning while promoting more healthy lifestyle choices and positive behavior. So the students from this type of educational background will have a feeling of sensitivity of life around them and will also work for the ecosystem to reach to the golden age. We speak about sustainable lives, sustainable business models, but do you know something? We can get the entire city close to be self-sustainable or reduce the impact on the ecosystem by applying these steps. It is estimated that more than 40% of the world's population now lives in cities. Due to this, the difficulty of meeting the basic needs of millions has become an ever-increasing problem. Overpopulation, excessive consumption, pollution, and depletion of resources have presented environmental and health challenges in major cities. By this being said, there is yet no single method of a sustainable city, but majorly, this model can help us as well as save the ecosystem. Consumption is, it's easy to forget about it, but the food we eat, the cars we drive, the concrete in our building, and everything we buy in shops comes with a carbon footprint. This footprint is even higher when things that come to us in the cities have to travel from thousands of miles, like, for example, the food in the supermarket. First, the power exercising authorities, schools, colleges, health, and medical services have to do something that they never did before. Show people what to eat, how much is required, how to eat it, and the pain behind growing it, and the effects it has if not consumed in a proper way. Second, loose material supply at the grocery and supermarkets should begin. Most of the essential food items don't need preservatives, which means it doesn't require packaging. And the ones that need comes with preservatives, which is not healthy for humans. So the government should focus on making the entire grocery and supermarket go package free, and in some cases buy back wrappers. This will help the people understand what is essential to consume, and it will help the ecosystem in multiple ways by reducing plastic waste, no storage, and waste generated at home and shops, healthier life, which means high positivity rate. People will have proper time and sense management about the products they use and the effects on their health. People will slowly develop a sense how much did the packaging industry made a fool out of them, and people can actually save a lot of their valuable money. Second, government institutions, households, and clustered societies should grow crops and majorly its items that are sourced from outside. This will give a boost to cleaner environment and support many poorer sections who are trying to fit in the seller's market and create more nuisance by unethical waste disposal practices. More focus on innovative products made from existing waste available should be implemented, like providing 50% of construction material from waste material and also a solution of potential waste into another sustainable product. When we talk about cities, we talk about traffic jams and pollution. So the government should stop the exercise providing loans, and private banks should adhere to these policies, because somebody's deemed car can result in someone else's death. More importance to public transport should be provided. Cycle communities should be given more priorities. Improve the existing public transport system. By doing this, we will have 50% reduction in air pollution and will achieve a decreasing trend. Most cities can create cleaner energy within their boundaries. They can draw in clean energy from other sources, for example, offshore wind farms. Clean ways to generate energy in a city include converting sun's energy into electricity, using building designs and solar thermal panels to heat buildings and water. The other things that can be concentrated are mobile money, rainwater harvesting in all societies, greenery in and around every household, vertical and rooftop crop garden, recycle, reduce, and reuse policies, public opinion presence in public planning, and so on. These steps can reduce the impact on the environment by more than 50%. And the best part of this is it can be started off immediately. Let me now tell you how our mission converges with the vision of Project Yug Parivartan led by Hitesh ji, and will also tell you what led us to do so. The society I grew in helped me to realize that I didn't want to be one like them. As I started realizing the thoughts that hooked me to this hypocritical society wasn't my own. They were fed into us by the manipulative forces to lead a cruel path. We humans need to realize that we cannot live and act like machines, because if we did, we would be replaced as soon as we stop being productive, then suffering is guaranteed. One's life is not being part of the competition because defeat is certain. It's just a matter of time followed by misery. Through years of unlearning and freeing my mind from age-old false dogmas and beliefs gave me a vision, a new goal to my life. My years of extensive traveling to the mightiest peaks in the Himalayas, down to the widest oceans in the west, and getting lost in the thick forest of the Nilgiris, enriched my life with deep knowledge and understanding about Mother Nature. Somewhere deep, I realized that we as children of the earth would have to put an end to this human's horrendous activities. There, my journey of uniting people to help them understand the gap that we have filled in by hatred, greed, ego has to be replaced with harmony to see the beauty of this planet. This gave birth to our organization, Nature's Guardians, who have been able to dig deep into the roots of various social issues. From 2017 up until 2020, we have successfully been able to clean plastic waste from the oceans, mountains, and busy areas, mounting up to 500 tons each year. We have successfully planted, distributed, and taken care of 2 lakh saplings and trees. We have been educating people about conscious methods of teaching in schools, colleges, streets, villages, and urban areas by putting our message forward to over 5 lakh people. We have conducted our musical therapy and meditational sessions all over India by touching hearts and minds of many people and curing them from man-made illnesses by successfully completing 500 sessions in less than 3 years. We have been working on innovative products to save Mother Nature from the huge deposits of humans' unnecessary waste and successfully made products to feed the infrastructural market. And we look for help in this sector. We have formed a band named Frequency, which is associated to New Age music, and successfully launched the first album, Psychological Pattern Volume 1, to cure anxiety, depression, and provide relaxation. We have been working very hard to replace the current chemical market products used in households and shops by 100% natural products. And we also look for help in this sector. As we move ahead in this journey, I would also like to highlight about the movement which took birth as a dream decades ago, was launched recently and is called Mission One, an attempt to unite people to join hands to solve various social issues. This is a movement taking place globally and gradually rising. When I spoke to Hitesh ji, I understood his idea to create a grand change was an opportunity for both of us to work together to get our dream into reality. Our entire team is very thankful to you for giving us an opportunity to present on Yug Parivartan platform and request all people to join hands and unite to work to make a world become a better place. Thank you all.
Thanks a lot, Marvin ji, for this wonderful presentation, which really deserves an applause.
Very good. It was like he was echoing what I and Bhiteji and a lot of people around us believe in. Thank you very much, Marvin. It was such an echo. God bless.